Here's something that doesn't make sense on paper. The less you actually do yourself, the more exhausted you can end up feeling. Not despite AI doing half your work. Because of it, you've probably already tried the obvious fixes. Use it less, take more breaks, set a screen time limit. None of it really touched the exhaustion, because none of that was ever the actual problem. Here's the sentence that explains what actually is, and I want you to hear it, not skim past it. The exhausting part isn't always using AI. Sometimes it's supervising it. It's not in your head, and it isn't laziness either. Let me tell you about a woman named Jenna, 31, a marketing coordinator, kind of employee who used to leave the office at 6 feeling genuinely done for the day. Then her company rolled out AI tools across the entire department. Campaign drafts, ad copy, meeting notes, all generated in seconds instead of hours. On paper, her workload should have been cut in half. Instead, she started staying until 7, then 8, telling herself it was just the adjustment period, just this one busy quarter. Here's what she couldn't explain to anyone, including herself. She was doing almost none of the actual writing anymore. And underneath the tiredness was a quieter, more private thought she never said out loud at work. She wasn't writing the words herself anymore, only approving something else's version of them. What exactly was she being paid for? That question followed her home most nights. Not, am I working hard enough? But something closer to, am I still necessary here at all? One night, closing her laptop at 8:15, she said something out loud to her empty apartment that surprised her. I didn't do anything today. Why am I this tired? That question is exactly where the real answer starts. A recent Boston Consulting Group study, published in Harvard Business Review, surveyed close to 1,500 workers, found something researchers are now calling AI brain fry. Not physical exhaustion, specific kind of mental fog, trouble concentrating, slower decisions, that buzzing, static feeling behind your eyes by the afternoon. Worth being precise here. This isn't the same as full burnout, the kind that builds over months or years. It's shorter, sharper, day-by-day mental fatigue, the kind that resets overnight and then quietly rebuilds itself the next afternoon. That distinction matters, because it means this isn't something you need months to recover from. It's something you can actually interrupt this week, once you know where it's coming from. Here's the part that should stop you. The people most affected weren't the ones doing the least work. They were the ones spending their day reviewing, checking, and approving AI output instead of producing it themselves. Oversight, not effort, was the thing quietly draining people. Instead of writing one piece of copy, Jenna was now reading 5 AI-generated versions and deciding which one was closest to right for every single task. Writing something yourself is one long decision. Reviewing 5 drafts is dozens of small decisions, back to back. Is this accurate? Does this sound like us? Is this actually good, or does it just look finished? Psychologists call it decision fatigue. The quality of your choices degrades the more of them you're forced to make in a row. AI didn't reduce Jenna's decisio. It multiplied them, disguised as something too small to notice each time, until they added up to more mental spending by lunch than her old job used to require in a full day. Relief and rest aren't the same feeling, and AI has gotten very good at producing relief without ever getting you closer to rest. Now stop for a second, because here's the part that actually stings a little. The tool built to lighten cognitive load has, for a specific kind of work, and quietly increasing it. Because your role silently shifted from creator to auditor, nobody warned your brain that auditing was going to be the harder job. Jenna finally asked her manager a blunt question. Am I actually supposed to check every single output this carefully, every time? Her manager didn't have a good answer, because nobody had actually decided that on purpose. It had just quietly become the expectation, one rollout at a time. Here's the escalation almost nobody sees coming until it's already happened. It's not just that AI expanded Jenna's workload. It quietly expanded her accountability. When she wrote something herself, she was responsible for one thing, her own judgment. Once AI was generating the work, she became responsible for something heavier, catching every mistake a machine might make, on top of her own. Nobody handed her that second job on purpose. It arrived quietly, bundled inside a tool that was supposed to be doing her a favor. Here's what the same research found. It's the part that matters for what you do next. Workers who used AI for a narrow, defined set of routine tasks, with clear boundaries around when they were done, reported meaningfully less burnout, not more. Fatigue wasn't coming from AI itself. It was coming from unbounded oversight and never having a clear line for when checking the work was actually finished. Jenna tried 3 changes over the following month. First, she stopped generating 5 versions of everything just in case one was better. One solid draft, reviewed once, thoroughly, and moved on. Second, she set an outer limit on review time per task. If a piece needed more than 2 passes to feel right, that was a signal to rewrite it herself, not keep rechecking indefinitely. Third, this one mattered more than she expected. She stopped treating every task with the same suspicion. Low-stakes work got a quick glance. Only the genuinely important pieces got her full attention. Here's the line she says now, looking back at those exhausting months. I thought I was being thorough. I was actually just never turning the reviewing part of my brain off. Let that sit for a second, because that's the trap almost nobody warns you about. AI hands you an endless, low-friction stream of things to evaluate. And evaluating never quite feels like real work, so you rarely give yourself permission to stop. Now picture this, for a second. Not Jenna, that version of you. 1 month from now, closing your laptop at a reasonable hour, actually feeling the difference between finished and merely reviewed enough times. Not because you're using AI less, because you finally drew a line around how much oversight any single task actually deserves, instead of giving all of them your maximum, exhausting attention by default. Hold that thought. This isn't an argument against AI. Used with a clear boundary, for tasks that genuinely don't need your full judgment, it does exactly what it was supposed to do. The exhaustion shows up specifically when oversight has no edges, when every task gets the same maximum scrutiny, and your brain never gets a clear signal it's allowed to stop checking. So here's what to actually do with this. Sort your AI-assisted tasks into 2 categories. Honestly, low stakes, where a quick glance is genuinely enough, and high stakes, where your full attention is actually warranted. Most people are treating almost everything like the second category. That's the exhaustion, hiding in plain sight. Set a real limit on review passes, too, and decide to move on. Endless rechecking isn't diligence. Past a certain point, it's just anxiety wearing a productivity costume. Give yourself an actual, explicit signal for done, not a feeling you're waiting to arrive. If any of this sounds exactly like your last few months, you're not imagining it. You're not alone in it. Drop the task that's been draining you the most in the comments. One you know you've been overchecking twice as much as it actually needs. Here's why that's worth actually doing. Right now, that boundary exists nowhere except as a vague feeling in your head, which makes it easy to keep ignoring. The moment you write it down where someone else can see it, it stops being vague and becomes an actual line you've drawn, when you're now more likely to hold yourself to. The same way Jenna's line only became real the night she said it out loud to someone else. If this gave you language for something you've been feeling but couldn't quite explain, that's usually the moment worth subscribing for, because Skilloma exists for exactly this kind of clarity. And if you've ever wondered why some people use AI all day and still leave work feeling lighter instead of heavier, next video names the one boundary they've all quietly drawn without realizing it's the same one, and why almost nobody else has drawn it yet.